hit the subscribe button and press the bell button for more videos.
Now, President Trump is having a very bad day. Both Paul Manafort and Rick Gates have been charged with 12 counts of conspiracy, money laundering, making false statements. You also have George Papadopoulos, another Trump campaign guy, basically saying, yes, I lied to the FBI, and now admitting that I'm cooperating with the investigation. Oh boy, not good. But don't worry, Fox and Friends is on the scene to make Trump's day a little less bad. According to the Daily Beast, the Fox trio of hosts, instead of discussing the Manafort arrest at length, decided to discuss none other than Hillary Clinton and the Trump dossier. Now, that dossier, of course, over the weekend was found to have been funded originally by the conservative Washington Free Beacon. Then, of course, they shifted over to the Uranium One deal, and whether charges of collusion might be best directed at the Democrats. Look, the Democrats have the problems with their own problems with corruption, okay? But this is kind of big news. Instead, what they did is they attempted to connect potential Mueller charges to anything but Donald Trump. Let me give you an example from this morning's Fox and Friends.
I'll say this. I'm interested to see if it's related to Russia and this administration or not, or it's just something that, if it's Paul Manafort, something that happened before he even joined the Trump administration.
The White House says it's no one within, they're not aware that it's anyone that works in the White House or anyone connected to the White House like Don Jr. or Jared Kushner. And Chris Christie said yesterday, he said, if you are being indicted, you know it.
Yeah, if you're a target, you know that people have been talking to you. Susan Collins, the senator from up north, she said there is no evidence of collusion. That's important, but there are a couple of stories out there that Paul Manafort, apparently back in 2012, apparently he had some money infusions from overseas to the tune of $3 million, 12 different wire transfers, and suddenly the feds were looking at that. Plus, apparently, according to the Wall Street Journal, he was being probed for money laundering as well. So would it be him? Would it be Flynn? We don't know, but as soon as we do know, we'll tell you.
And just keep in mind this, or I have to keep this in mind. Just because they indict you, it doesn't mean you're guilty. So if it is Paul Manafort or Mike Flynn, then they get to fight back. Right. Then they get to a mount of defense, find out what they have, and then they go to trial, and we'll see where it goes from there. That's just their opinion about what they've acquired so far. And I'm just wondering if this relates to the fact that last week, during the beginning of the week, there was a lot of talk about GPS and Fusion GPS and who hired what and who was telling the truth about that, and if maybe people were feeling pressure inside the Mueller investigation to do something to let people know they were making some progress.
So, did you see that? I swear the guy was turning himself into a pretzel. Like, Paul Manafort, I mean, you know, just because you're indicted doesn't mean that you've done a crime. You just get to defend yourself. And I wonder if that has anything to do with Fusion GPS and Hillary Clinton. Really? Now, this is, of course, before news broke, obviously, where they were talking about Paul Manafort and, of course, turning himself over to the FBI. But, okay. Look, yes, what he said is technically true. You could be indicted and not actually be guilty. Of course. But it's still kind of a pretty big deal to talk about that. But, hey, you know what? Instead of talking about that, let's talk about Hillary. Let's talk about Fusion GPS. No, how about let's not? I'm tired of talking about Hillary. Number one, she's not the president. Nobody cares about Hillary Clinton. I wish she would go away. The only people who care about Hillary Clinton is the people who's like, yeah, but what about Hillary? I mean, Trump sure may have done this, but Hillary Clinton. Well, what about Hillary? Well, what about her? She's corrupt. And? Yeah, we already knew that. But you know what? She didn't get elected because more people thought that she was more corrupt than Donald Trump. Apparently, that turned out to be not true. But still, incredibly corrupt, right? But no, they're going to go after her. In fact, I've got a video compilation put together from Slate that shows you exactly what they were talking about and how obsessed they are with Hillary Clinton.
And the Clinton campaign?
Information about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton took over
Obama and Hillary Clinton.
The DNC and the Clinton campaign.
Hillary Clinton essentially
Investigation on Clinton, Democrats, and Clinton.
That Hillary Clinton didn't know about it?
Hillary Clinton's campaign, Hillary Clinton.
Like Hillary Clinton's support.
To vote for Hillary Clinton.
back to Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
To the Clintons and the Democrats.
After Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Hillary Clinton, that Hillary Clinton didn't know. Hillary Clinton was, look, we would be happy to stop talking about Hillary Clinton in the campaign.
I'd love to stop talking about Hillary Clinton, except that I'm going to talk about Hillary Clinton a lot. Oh. Again, the derangement syndrome, right? Look, I don't like Hillary Clinton. You guys know, anybody who's watched this show knows that I am not a fan of Hillary Clinton, okay? I don't want to talk about her. The reason that I have to bring her up is because she still has a lot of sway within the Democratic Party, I think way too much. But it's not about her personally, it's about her ideology. The ideology of centrist neoliberalism. That's actually destroying our country. It's crushed the middle class, it's put corporations over people, and it's indirectly one of the reasons that Donald Trump himself got elected. But they're not talking about Hillary Clinton in that way. No. What they're doing is that they're distracting and they're deflecting. In fact, they go to the dossier. They said in the following hour, former Trump aide Michael Caputo, and you saw him a little bit there, spent several minutes on how Fusion GPS's anti-Trump dossier, quote, exposes the Russian connections to the Clintons and the Democrats. Now, wait a minute here. So the Free Beacon hires Fusion, right? Fusion hires Christopher Steele. Steele allegedly gets information on Trump from Russians, right? The Free Beacon abandons the project, and the Clinton and the DNC campaign pick it up. Now they pick it up because it's opposition research. So Steele allegedly gets his information from high-placed Russian officials. That's a dubious claim at best, okay? Because there's a lot of people that have tried to get information, that have tried to place themselves and ingratiate themselves with higher-ups in the Russian hierarchy for a long time. The CIA's been trying to do it, and they've had limited success. So what makes you think the Steele guy, in like less than a year, we're able to make those connections where the United States government, for example, their spies were trying to get at that information for a long time. It doesn't seem to track. Okay? So, again, now, that said, there are parts of the dossier that are absolutely true, but there's a lot of stuff that's also incredibly unverifiable. Now, somehow that's collusion. I think that's more opposition research. Now, a lot of people will say, well, what about who paid for it? Who paid for this dossier? Actually, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing with WikiLeaks. I don't care how they came by the emails. If it's true, if the information inside of it is true, then maybe we should act on it. The Trump campaign didn't have a problem with the WikiLeaks emails. They didn't ask who paid for it or who stole it. They didn't care. They're like, oh, look, this is bad for Hillary Clinton. This is all showing all the stuff that she's actually said and how she screwed over Bernie Sanders and how she has a public position and a private position and how she looks incredibly corrupt. Now, the stuff that was in there in the emails was absolutely verified. We know Hillary Clinton's corrupt. But now when it comes to Fusion GPS or whatever in this Trump dossier, done by Fusion and investigated by Steele, now we're like, yeah, but Hillary paid for it. Part of it. No, what should be more important is if the stuff in the dossier is actually true. That matters far more than who actually financed it. Just saying. That's my opinion, at least. So, look, there are a lot of questions, and some of the claims which are crazy inside the dossier, like the PP tape, all that stuff, but there are parts of it that are true. And there's some stuff that you can't verify, and there's some big questions about where the information actually came from. And that's all fair criticisms. Who paid for it? I don't think that's quite a fair criticism, because in the end, it doesn't really matter. What it matters is the information. But all this talk about the funding is a big distraction, and guess what? It actually worked. In fact, after Caputo's segment, the president tweeted, because he's always watching Fox and Friends, he said, great job by Michael Caputo on Fox and Friends. Yes, great job. And then, When the news of Manafort and Gates charges dropped shortly thereafter, Fox and Friends took the longest of the cable news morning shows to actually get to it. In fact, instead of actually covering this, what did they do instead? They had a segment on the cheeseburger emoji. What the fuck? No. We're going to avoid this gigantic story that just broke about corruption, and we're going to talk about cheeseburger emojis. This is what we're doing. No, it's collusion unless it's Hillary. Manafort might not be guilty. He might not know anything, but cheeseburgers. Cheeseburger emojis. Hey, look, on some level, you've got to get Fox News credit because they really know their audience. I mean, President Trump, look, he loves Fox and Friends, and they know it. This is the ultimate fan service. This is Fox News saying, don't worry, Donald, whatever happens, we got your back. Hey, everybody.